Shreveport Fire Chief Scott Wolverton is joining us this morning to talk about what's in the bond issue for the fire department, why these needs are critical. Where do we start, I guess, with the equipment you need? That's number one, Scott, correct?
That is correct. We've got a total of about $26.4 million in the bond. It's broken down into three major categories. The first one is vehicle replacement or apparatus replacement, about $16 million. With that funding, we'll be able to replace a large portion of our primary response vehicles, which are our engine companies, about 4 ladder trucks, and a rescue truck.
I saw in the bond that 80% of the engines that respond have an F grade. When we say F grade, it means they shouldn't be out there on the streets?
Well, not going to say that. That's based off the model of the vehicle, which is the year it was manufactured. It's based off the total mileage. It's based off the hours that are on the engine, and also the total amount of maintenance costs that we put on it on each truck annually. So we took that grade scale, and about 17 of our frontline engines, which includes our reserves, came up to an F grade. Now, I'll say this, we spec a really good truck. A number of these trucks are 25 plus years or older. 3 of them are 32 years old. They were bought by Dallas Green in 1987 and 1988. And they've served us well. They've served the community well. We got a great return on that investment, and that's what we intend to do with this bond, is continue to spec a good truck where this investment will last another 30 years for our taxpayers.
So this will keep us good with your equipment, you're saying, for 30 years?
Well, I mean, we're going to be buying 5 trucks over the next 4 years. So we're not going to buy all 20 trucks at one time. We're going to use the bond as a vehicle replacement program, and it should serve the citizens for many years to come. As I say, we spec a very good truck. When we spec the truck out, we put a great frame on it. It's a custom frame. We put a great cab on it. It has a lot of things that are required by NFPA now that are a lot of safety requirements. So they're going to be a lot better truck, and we feel very confident they'll be able to serve the citizens for a long time, and they'll get a great return on their investment, just like they did with our fleet that we have now that's come to this age. Chief, but now it's come to the time where they need to be retired by the amount of maintenance money we're investing in them, and just the wear and tear on them and trying to keep them up and going.
The fire station replacements that you're suggesting, where are they, and what's the deal with that?
There are 3 stations. Station 11 is over on Uri Drive, right there at Ockley. And then we also have Station 14, which is over on Greenwood Road, just west of Jewella. And we also have Station 15, which is on West 70th, just west of Mansfield Road. These 3 stations, 14 and 15, were built in 1961. 11 was built in 1944. We basically, due to the demands of service of the fire department over the last few years, these stations were built at a time where we only did structural firefighting. Now we also do, a large majority of our responses are advanced life support, EMS transport. 2 of these stations actually have an ambulance running out of a single bay. So we've got an engine company and an ambulance running out of a single bay, which is not very user-friendly. It's not good for response times. It's really unsafe, to be honest.
You parked the ambulance in front of the fire truck? Is that the deal?
Yes, the ambulance is parked in front of the fire truck at 14 and 15. And typically, we make a lot more EMS calls. Our medic units probably make the majority of our calls. Some of them make up to 3,500 runs a year. So they're making a lot of the calls. So we'd be able to relocate these stations. We have property already available for them, and we'll be able to get them in a station that will serve them for a long time and also serve our city for a long time.
So you have the property, you own it already, you're saying?
Yes, we have the property to build the station, except for Station 11. We'll actually demolish Station 11 and build it on site there, where it's at on Uri Drive.
Let me ask you a strange question, Chief. We're talking to Chief Scott Wolverton with the fire department. When we talk about replacing these 3 fire stations, upgrading them or moving them to another location. And we also talk about police substations. Is there any way there can be a combo effect with those buildings? If we're building new buildings, is there any way a part of the building could also serve as the police substation at the same time as a way to save money? Have y'all talked about that at all?
There was some discussion about it earlier, about a police substation being on the same property as a fire station. However, due to conversations with the police department, it wasn't felt like it was a great idea because citizens coming there might get confused. Citizens come to the fire station for emergencies. We have a lot of times what's called still alarms. We wouldn't want them to be confused about where they would need to come to get a police report, because coming to the fire station and trying to get a police report, we would not be able to help them. The discussion was on the police substations that it might be better to have them located separate from the fire station, so that there was no confusion to our public what service they're getting.
Chief, another thing that troubles me about this bond issue, and I know there's another piece to this puzzle, is that we do this work, we build these new structures, but then we don't have money to maintain them. So the roofs start leaking, the mold grows, etc. Do we have money? Are you confident that if the public votes yes, that we will take care of these buildings? You follow me?
Yes, I'm very confident because of these stations are so old. The 1961 station, 1944 station, we already can't keep up the maintenance on them because of the age of them. These new stations are going to be built a lot better construction. The roofs are going to be metal, where they'll never have to have a lifetime warranty on them. They don't have to be replaced. They're not flat roofs that need to be replaced, which there's all kinds of problems with flat roofs, and many of our fire stations have those flat roofs. So we're designing into the station the best possible investment for our citizens, also from an environmental perspective and savings on energy resources. The design of the new stations will be a lot more energy efficient than the older stations are.
And I know you don't want to answer this, but I'm going to ask you. If the voters say no, what do you as the fire chief have to do? These engines aren't going to last much longer. What's the answer then?
Well, Aaron, the only thing we'll able to do is continue doing what we're doing now, and that's trying to keep our present vehicles up and running. And I'll have to give kudos to our maintenance shop, because they really work their tails off trying to keep those trucks up and running. But there's a lot of times we don't have a reserve truck to put anyone in. You might drive by a fire station and you'll see an engine company in a pickup truck, because we don't have a reserve engine to put them in. So at some point, for us to continue providing the high level of service that we want to provide and our citizens expect us to provide, that's why we're coming to them with this bond now, to try to replace our apparatus fleet. And Aaron, if you look on our website, you'll see our strategic plan, which we do every 4 years. We've been doing it since 1997. You'll see in that strategic plan how we've invested in the prior bonds. We've been good stewards of our taxpayer money. We'll do the same with this bond. This strategic plan has all of these needs in it. And that's why when they came to us and asked us about, hey, we're thinking about doing a bond, what do y'all need? Well, we knew it right then and there. We had it. We stay on top of that. We're currently always looking ahead and strategically planning for the future of the Shreveport Fire Department and providing the best service that we can.
Yours was not rushed. Yours was, I know what I need. We've been calling for this for several years. Yours has been in that plan, correct?
Exactly. And there's been a lot of rhetoric about, things weren't vetted. Well, these things have been vetted for a long time on the Shreveport Fire Department.
Right. Shreveport Fire Chief Scott Wolverton, thanks so much for your time this morning. I'm sure we'll talk again before the election. Appreciate it, sir.
Thank you.
You bet.